How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
Hey, yo, what's going on, my peeps? How y'all doing today? Happy Saturday, and happy whatever day to anybody who's listening on whatever day you're listening. It's your boy, Mr. Folk Thoughts, and we're about to get into this debate situation, this new interview situation that Sleepy Sloppy Joe decided that he wanted to do to try to make things better. I don't know what he did to make anything better because the man sat up there and literally, if you pay attention, he was sick. He don't know what happened. He was jet lagged. He was exhausted. The doctor looked at him, but he don't need to take no cognitive tests because he do it every day. He does it every single day. So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this video, man, where Joe Biden just had another cringe-worthy moment, man. It don't look too good.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the debate. You and your team have said you had a bad night, but your friend Nancy Pelosi actually framed the question that I think is on the minds of millions of Americans. Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It's a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night.
You know, you say you were exhausted, and I know you've said that before as well, but you came, and you did have a tough month, but you came home from Europe about 11 or 12 days before the debate, spent 6 days in Camp David. Why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Because I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me, I asked if they did a COVID test because they're trying to figure out what's wrong. They did a test to see what.
Okay. He just had a bad night, but then he was sick. Which one is it? Did you just have a bad night because you had a bad night, or were you sick? Or are you eventually going to blame Trump for it? Let's go ahead and see.
Whether or not I had some infection, a virus. I didn't. I just had a really bad cold.
And did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
You don't think you did? I would know if somebody asked me, hey, did you watch the last episode of Snowfall? Or, did you watch, the news or whatever? I mean, this is actually a debate with you and another person that has been tragic. It's only been a week and you don't think so? I don't know, man. Oh, my goodness.
Well, what I want to get at is what were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look, the whole way I prepared, nobody's fault, mine. Nobody's fault but mine.
So now there's preparation issues and everything. So we were exhausted, we were sick, and we prepared wrong. I prepared wrong. It wasn't nobody else. I prepared wrong. 10 days at Camp David studying, and you weren't prepared. They didn't recognize that you were sick. None of that. Let's keep it going, man. Come on.
I prepared what I usually would do, sitting down, as I did come back with foreign leaders or the National Security Council, for explicit detail. And I realized about partway through that, I get quoted, the New York Times had me down at 10 points before the debate, 9 now, or whatever the hell it is. In fact,
I don't know where this dude be getting these numbers, bro. I swear to God, he don't know what he's talking about. Where's he getting the numbers?
The matter is that what I looked at is that he also lied 28 times.
What did he lie about? Y'all keep on saying that he lied. You said nobody died under your watch. In any situation, conflict-wise, you had the Afghanistan deal that you backed that up and you left people behind. You got people that's been left behind in Ukraine and Israel, Hamas, everywhere, but nobody died I mean, what? Oh my goodness. But you want to sit up here and say that Trump 28 lies. Now you're blaming Trump. So
The way the debate ran.
you're talking about preparation, sickness, jet lag, and apparently Trump lied 28 times. You said that it was all on you, but obviously it's not all on you. You blaming everybody. I mean, it's everybody's fault but yours. You're probably gonna blame something else. Let's see.
And not my fault. No one else's fault. No one else's fault.
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in.
He missed the first jumper. I mean, for real, it was a bad night. That's almost like, first pitch, somebody hit a home run against you in the game. It is not going to be good.
Even before he spoke.
Well, I just had a bad night.
Okay, so jet lag, sickness, bad preparation, 28 lies that you couldn't refute. But then it's just like, okay, well, what happened? Oh, well, I just had a bad night. If you got all of this stuff going on, you didn't just have a bad night. You just tried to say what the contributing factors was, and now it's I just had a bad night. The lies, man, the lies.
You've had some bad interviews once in a while. I can't remember any, but I'm sure you did.
I've had plenty. I guess the question, the problem is here for a lot of Americans watching, as you've said, going back to 2020, watch me, to people who are concerned about your age. And, 50 million Americans watched that debate. It seemed to confirm fears they already had.
Well, look, after that debate, I did 10 major events in a row, including until 2 o'clock in the morning after that debate. I did events in North Carolina. I did events in Georgia. Did events like this today. Large crowds, overwhelming response.
I ain't had no large crowd nowhere, brother. I saw that rally. It looked like it was a bunch of school students that and the crowd applause was nothing. It's crazy.
No slipping. And so I just had a bad night. I don't know why.
Sickness, lack of preparation, jet lag, a man lying 28 times, but you don't know why. This is ridiculous. American people, pay attention. This is your Democratic Party. This is the leader lying his ass off.
And how quickly did it come to you that you were having that bad night?
Well, it came to me as having a bad night when I realized that even when I was answering a question, even though they turned his mic off, he was still shouting.
That's a lie. That, my friends, is a lie. Donald Trump did not try to overshout, overtake, overdo anything when it came to Joe, Sleepy Joe, and everything that he was trying to do. He couldn't get the words out of his mouth. That was the problem. Trump was not the problem. We can go ahead and play an example.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Okay, so where was the shouting? Where was the interruptions? Where was it? Jet lag, exhaustion. We got lack of preparation. We got lies 28 times and constant interruptions. 5. All lies. All lies. Okay. This is ridiculous that he can sit here in front of the American people and tell lies. You were deep off into your prepared speech. This man didn't interrupt you. What are you talking about? Where were you? Were you there? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
And I let it distract me. I'm not blaming it on that. But I realized that I just wasn't in control.
But part of the other concern is that this seems to have fit into a pattern of decline that has been reported on recently. New York Times had a headline on July 2nd, Biden's lapses are said to be increasingly common and worrisome. Here's what they wrote. People who have spent time with President Biden over the last few months or so said the lapses appear to have grown more frequent, more pronounced, and after Thursday's debate, more worrisome. By many accounts, as evidenced by video footage, observation, and interviews, Mr. Biden is not the same today as he was even when he took office 3.5 years ago. Similar reporting in the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. Are you the same man today that you were when you took office 3.5 years ago?
In terms of successes, yes. I also was the guy who put together a peace plan for the Middle East that may be coming to fruition.
Deflection. Not answering the question at all. Are you healthy and cognitive enough? We're not talking about policy. We're not talking about anything that you may or may not have done, because that's a whole laundry list and some other stuff that you really don't want to have that conversation. However, this is a tactic of deflection in order to not answer the question. And he's going to do this multiple times.
I was also the guy that expanded NATO. I was also the guy that grew the economy. All the individual things that were done were ideas I had or I fulfilled. I moved on. And so, for example, well, that was true then. What's Biden done lately? Today, just announced 200,000 new jobs. We're moving in a direction that no one's ever taken on. I know you know this from the days in.
You can announce the jobs all you want. I want to see the jobs. You can announce it all day.
A tougher, more personal question. Are you sure you're being honest with yourself when you say you have the mental and physical capacity to serve another 4 years?
Yes, I am, because, George, the last thing I want to do is not be able to meet that. I think, as some of the senior economists and senior foreign policy specialists say, if I stop now, I'd go down in history as a pretty successful president.
That's a lie.
No one thought I could get done what we got done.
What did you get done? I don't know. The border's wide open. You got all your migrants in here. You drove up prices to where it's unlivable for people. Your policies don't mean anything to regular people. I'm just letting you know that right now.
But are you being honest with yourself as well about your ability to defeat Donald Trump right now?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
You say that.
Anytime you got to repeat yourself that many times, that's a lie.
And let me challenge you, because you were close but behind going into the debate. You're further behind now by any measure. It's been a two-man race for several months. Inflation has come down. In those last few months, he's become a convicted felon, yet you're still falling further behind.
Because he's terrible. Because he is terrible, because the lawfare did not work, because the lies have not worked, and what goes around comes around. I mean, you can't do all of this stuff to people and expect for nothing to happen to you. Nothing.
You guys keep saying that. George, you know polling better than anybody. Do you think polling data is accurate as it used to be?
I don't think so, but I think when you look at all of the polling data right now, it shows that he's certainly ahead in the popular vote, probably even more ahead in the battleground states. And one of the other key factors there is it shows that in many of the battleground states, the Democrats who are running for Senate and the House are doing better than you are.
That's a shame. That's a shame that the people underneath you are doing better than you, and your opinion rating is at low 30%, 36%. And you really think that people are feeling you like that. And they're not. I mean, they're not. They're not feeling you. They're not feeling your administration. They're not feeling your son. They're not feeling none of it, man.
Well, that's not unusual in some states. I carried an awful lot of Democrats last time I ran in 2020. Look, I remember them telling me the same thing in 2020. I can't win. The polls show I can't win. Remember 2020, the red wave was coming. Before the vote, I said, that's not going to happen. We're going to win. We did better in an off year than almost any incumbent president ever has done. They said in 2023, all the tough races, we're not going to win. I went into all those areas, all those districts, and we won.
All that is true, but 2020 was a close race. And your approval rating has dropped significantly since then. I think the last poll I saw was at about 36%. The number of Americans who think you're too old to serve has doubled since 2020. Wouldn't a clear-eyed political calculus tell you that it's going to be much tougher to win in 2024?
Not when you're running against a pathological liar.
Delusion. Absolute delusion. I mean, that's the only thing you can attack the man and claim that he lied, but you can't tell me what he lied about. Y'all got to do better than this, man. Democrats, do better.
Not when he hadn't been challenged in a way that he's about to be challenged. Not when people...
You've had months to challenge him.
Oh, I sure had months, but I was also doing a hell of a lot of other things, like wars.
Exactly, like wars. You was doing other things, just playing little war games with Ukraine and with Hamas and sending our money away. Yeah, like wars, like giving our bread away to stuff that's not got nothing to do with us.
Around the world, like keeping NATO together, like working anyway.
Did to finish his point, that's what we're talking about. How can we understand what's going on if you can't even carry out a complete damn thought?
Look,
Do you really believe you're not behind right now?
I think it's all pollsters I talk to tell me it's a toss-up.
He got a bunch of liars, glad handers, and yes men around him. He probably don't even watch TV. That's why, he was like, I don't remember watching the debate back, because they don't let you watch nothing. They're not gonna let you. They want to keep you hidden. It's almost like a music artist. Keep you in the studio, keep you working, and keep you oblivious to what's going on around you. That's what they're doing to you.
It's a toss-up. And when I'm behind, there's only one poll I'm really far behind: CBS poll and NBC.
There we go.
New York Times and NBC both have you about 6 points behind in the popular vote.
That's exactly right.
He got caught up, and Stephanopoulos saved him.
New York Times had me behind before anything happened to do with this race. Had me behind 10 points. 10 points had me behind. Nothing's changed substantially in the debate, the New York Times poll.
Just when you look at the reality, though, Mr. President, I mean, you won the popular vote in 2020, but it was still deadly close in the Electoral
By 7
College.
million votes.
Yes, but you're behind now in the popular vote.
I don't buy that.
You're going to buy it in November, bro. Yeah, you're going to buy that in November. You're going to buy that in November. I'll sell it to you if you want me to, but you're going to buy it because you're not, oh my God, delusion.
Worth the risk?
I don't think anybody's more qualified to be president or win this race than me.
The arrogance, the unmitigated gall. I'm the only person, I'm the most qualified. Boy, you better quit.
The heart of your case against Donald Trump is that he's only out for himself, putting his personal interest ahead of the national interest. How do you respond to critics who say that by staying in the race, you're doing the same thing?
Oh, come on.
That's a tale. He's lying. Come on, yeah, that's true. That is what that is. People have tales, and when you're just that arrogant, and it's all about your pride, all about you. It's not about us. We can tell. We know.
Well, I don't think those critics know what they're talking about.
They're just wrong.
It's wrong. Look, Trump is a pathological liar. Trump is, he is. Have you ever seen anything Trump did that benefited somebody else, not him? You can't answer, I know.
I've questioned him and his allies as persistently as any journalist has.
No, I know you have. I'm not being
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah.
I'm not being critical. But look, I mean, the man is a
Can't
congenital liar.
say nothing.
As I said, they pointed out in that debate he lied 27, 28 times the times, or whatever number, over 20 times. Talk about how good his economy was, how he brought down inflation, how
He did.
this is the guy who, unlike only other president other than him is Hoover, lost more jobs than he created.
COVID lost us jobs, not Donald Trump.
This is the guy who told us to put bleach in our arms to deal with COVID, with over a million people died.
That was a joke. If you can't understand conjecture or a joke like that and you inject some bleach in your stupid ass arm, that's on you, buddy. That you know good and doggone well that he didn't mean that in real life. That was a joke.
This is the guy who talks about wanting to get rid of the healthcare provisions we put in place. This is the guy who wants
Yes, because he wants to do better health care, something more affordable than the crap that you got going on.
to give the power back to big pharma to be able to charge exorbitant prices for drugs. This is the guy who wants to undo every single thing I've done. Every single thing.
Just like you undid every single thing that he did when you got in office. You repealed every single thing that he did. Do not get it twisted, people. He actually repealed every single thing that Donald Trump did. I'm talking about with the border, with the economy. He shut down pipelines. He did all of this stuff. 27 lies. Man, are you kidding me?
I understand that. And I understand that's why you want to stay in the race. But if you convince yourself that only you can defeat him,
I convinced myself of two things. I'm the most qualified person to beat him, and I know how to get things done.
if you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
Well, I mean, on a more practical level, Washington Post just reported in the last hour.
They say that if Trump gets in office, that he will never leave. And he already left once. Now, if you say only if the Lord Almighty tell you to come down, he come down and tell you, and for all intents and purposes, you believe that he's not, you're the one that's not going to leave. You're not the one. You don't even want to leave now, and it's over with for you. It's a wrap, bro. And you still want to sit there and play president.
That Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man, but we've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too. Mark's not. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
You sure? Are you sure? Because from what we hear, they having backroom meetings without you, baby. They telling you everything is okay. And the crazy thing is, and the sad thing about cognitive decline is he's the last one to know. He don't believe that he's going through what he's going through. That's the problem. He does not believe that he's going through what he's going through. You can try to relax. You can try to take your tie off and be cool and all that. You can put this little makeup on to make your skin look unflushed or whatever the case may be. But you ain't ready. You wasn't ready 30 years ago. You wasn't ready back in the 80s, and you damn sure ain't ready now. You wasn't ready when you got the job, sir. I'm sorry.
Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came out and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
Now, that's some scary stuff. The Lord Almighty not coming down? I don't think you know that. I don't think you know that at all.
I mean, these hypotheticals, George,
But it's not that hypothetical anymore. I grant that they have not requested the meeting, but it's been
well,
reported.
I met with them. I've met with a lot of these people. I've talked with them regularly. I had an hour conversation with Akeem. I had more time than that with Jim Clyburn. I spent time with many hours off and on the last little bit with Chuck Schumer. It's not like I had all the governors.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you are told reliably from your allies, from your friends and supporters in the Democratic Party, in the House and the Senate, that they're concerned you're going to lose the House and the Senate if you stay in, what will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question. It's not going to happen.
So let's go ahead and analyze what we've seen so far. This man is clearly not 100% there. He's literally told us 27 to 28 lies here while they're claiming that Donald Trump is telling all these lies. You claim everything, but take accountability for nothing. You know, there's accountability to be had all the way around in this situation. You got all of your people, all of your handlers, everybody who has been around you has lied to you and made you feel like that you have something that you don't. And that's the fortitude, the stamina to continue on as an American president. Buddy, you're old. You're old, and that's not a bad thing. But you have cognitive issues. Bruce Willis is younger than you, and he can't act anymore because of his cognitive decline and his dementia. What needs to happen is, at this point, I don't even care about you staying in the race or not. I just don't, because better for us, better for you to keep slipping, tripping, falling and making the Democrats lose their minds. It's so ridiculous to me now that we are in a state where people are literally denying the obvious or jumping ship when things are not going their way and then try to start to be, oh, this is new. It's not new. Joe Biden has been like this for years. What's so sad about it is that we, in our country, have people who will perpetuate this lie and peddle out a man like this in this fashion. It's the saddest thing that I've ever seen. Do I think that this helped his campaign? No. This is probably one of the most terrible interviews after a terrible situation that we've ever had, where somebody has denied everything. He says he takes a cognitive test every day. He's failing it every day. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, because you've been failing your cognitive tests every day when you're walking off, when you're falling upstairs, when you're falling down on stage, when you're falling off bikes, when you can't put two words together. All of that is happening when you can't read without a crutch. That's what we got here. And what we have to do is we got to make sure that we vote in Donald Trump. He is not a part of Project 25 or any of that foolishness they're trying to peddle against him right now, because that's all they got. And that's all that they can use. So on that note, I'm up out of here. That was just enough to let you know that this man is a liar and he's not fit to do anything. He's not even fit to draw a bath or run a bathwater, not let alone run for the country. So this has been Provoked Thoughts on the weekend, man. Y'all have a good rest of y'all holiday weekend. I'm out, and I love you. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Chime in. Let me know what you think. And we up out of here.
How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.